Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year. I want to do a quick recap here on 2019, a market review within the community of San Joaquin Hills. The three things I want to cover quickly are: how did we fare compared to the following years? What can we expect for 2020? And more importantly, probably the number one influence that you're going to see having influence on your pricing for the next couple of years moving forward. First thing, let's just compare numbers real quickly. And I think the biggest takeaway is the number of homes that sold in 2019. We had 25 closed escrows within the community. Last year, you could see we had 44. And the last 6 or 7 years, we've averaged anywhere from 46 to 54. So that is almost a 50% reduction in the number of homes sold. Now, normally that really does imply also that prices go down. We saw a very flat market as far as appreciation goes. We saw values remain exactly the same. And what kept that paradox was the fact that there was a very low amount of homes for sale at any given time. So what can we expect for 2020? Well, we could expect the economy still booming. Interest rates, it's almost become commonplace to hear that they're at an all-time low. And again, the inventory just seems to be the story of the decade here as far as very tight supply. There's just not that many homeowners that want to move for a variety of reasons there. I mentioned that what's going to have the biggest impact on your home values for the following years? It's going to be kids. I know that may surprise you here, but let me explain real quickly. The move-up market is exactly the demographics we're in. If you could recall, when I worked with Chappelle in the early 90s, the builders, most people don't know, they really invest heavily on a tremendous amount of data and surveys. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on them. Because the builders well aware that when they broke ground here, that it was going to be a 10 to 15 year plus project. And they want to make sure their investment is well guarded and continue to spark that growth no matter what happens in the next 10, 15 years that most people can't forecast. But what they forecast is that whether it's San Joaquin Hills, El Miguel Heights, Marina Hills, other homes within the surrounding communities that meet our appointment, is that all surveys show nationally, regionally, locally, that the number one reason of why when people are asked, why did you buy this home in this community that has this appointment, 82 to 84% of the people say, because of our kids. This is where we want to raise our family for the next 10, 15, 20 years here. So that still holds true with what we have within the community, specifically here in San Joaquin Hills. So that should lead you to a tremendous comfort. Because I got to assure you, in 2010, when we were at the lowest point, supposedly, I had the conversations with families saying, where do you want to live for the next 10, 15 years to raise your kids? In 2000, when we had the .com, there was a lot of fear in the market, had the same conversation. In the 1990, when the aerospace Boeing was laying off, I had a lot of young engineers. Where do you want to raise your kids? And after these 30 years, 99% of them all said the same thing. Life throws you highs and lows. But one thing remains the same. They're very fortunate and very happy that they have those memories and they raise their kids where they wanted to raise them. So ultimately, that's going to have the greatest impact in a positive way here in San Joaquin Hills here. So, well, if you have any questions specifically on whatever stage of life you're in now, whether it's financial, whether it's market graphs, or it's just bounce some ideas on whether it makes sense to move now, feel free to give me a call. Until we meet, I wish every single one of you a fantastic, blessed 2020. Take care.